Jesus said, "This is the first and greatest commandment. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is like it. Love others as you love yourself." So the question is, do you love? I mean, do you really live the definition of love? Are you patient? Are you kind? Do you celebrate in the blessings of others? Are you humble? Have you died to self? Are you slow to anger? Do you keep no record of wrongs? Do you always protect, always trust, always hope, always persevere? This is what it means to love, the way God intended. So the question remains, do you love?
At Bethany Church, we're excited to announce the launch of our new website, designed with you in mind. We understand that tithing and managing your giving can be a hassle, but our new website makes it easier than ever. Our website is mobile friendly, making it easy for you to give on the go or during service, whether you are using your computer or mobile phone. Our website is fully responsive, ensuring a seamless user experience. You can easily give your tithes and offerings with just a few clicks, either as a one-time donation or set up a recurring donation. Recurring donations make it convenient for you to give regularly, so you never have to worry about forgetting. Make sure to include your envelope number when using the Givelify app. Our website offers added security with a login feature, ensuring that your information is kept confidential. You can access your giving history at any time and keep track of your contributions throughout the year, or utilize our convenient text-to-give options to text your tithes on the go. At Bethany Church, we believe that giving is an act of worship, and our new website makes it more accessible than ever before. Visit gotobethany.com today and discover the power of giving with our new giving website. Thank you for your generosity.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in the United States of America. We're so glad you joined us today as we talk about those things pertaining to life, your environment, politics, sports, major national, international, local, regional events that impact your life. But we talk about them always from a kingdom or biblical point of view. The Bible is clear that we need to be like the sons of Issachar, understanding the times in which we live. But that's only half the battle. Then knowing what to do, knowing how to navigate, especially as people of faith, this world that we are the stewards of. And so it's important in On Point that we always give you that point of view from a God perspective, so that you can exercise and live your life with wisdom, the wisdom of God. Joining us today is Pastor Smith is away. You guys are looking, who's this guy? This is Reverend White, Reverend Richard White, one of our lead staff people here in the church. And we are really looking forward to having another great conversation with him. You want to join us today? You can give us a call. We want to talk to you anywhere in the world. Toll free 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call. Do me a favor. Like us, subscribe to us. Kind of get that algorithm shaken up. Like us, subscribe to us. Invite a few of your friends to join us, all your followers and friends to join us for this great conversation once again. What's happening, Rich?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
How's that corporate life doing?
It's busy.
Yeah, well, that's good.
It's busy.
I always say busy means employed.
Busy is good.
Busy is employed, brother. And it's nothing like being employed. I think
Amen.
I think in the time that we live, it's funny. When I don't know how you felt. When I was younger, I wasn't that concerned with job security because I always felt like you could go somewhere and start over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that you can't. I think the older we get, the less and less we have a desire.
That's right.
To start over in another piece, get used to another culture.
That's right.
That whole thing.
And for people of color, then they have to prove themselves
All over again.
And that can be draining. Not that you can't do it, but and people have to do it. But nevertheless, I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, to go back to having to be perfect every minute of the day, every day, politically correct, culturally correct for the environment you're in. You look back and see the strain.
Yeah.
And people that have never been through it, they think you're over-exaggerating.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody last week, and they were saying, I was telling about the stresses of work. Nothing bad, just what it is, because it's intense. It's numbers, monthly, weekly numbers, and quarterly numbers.
Accountability, responsibility.
And they were saying it's tough for folks to understand. You've said this all the time. It's tough for folks to understand where you are if they haven't been.
Absolutely.
Right? And so this whole corporate C-suite thing is a different animal. And it's constant,
And the demands are relentless. You don't get to take a quote unquote day off.
Yeah. No.
You don't get to quote that. That's especially some people can kind of float while they're on the job, but in certain positions you don't get to float while you're there. It's intense. It's from the moment you arrive. And it doesn't end when you leave, especially if you're in charge.
Yeah, particularly when you're running facilities that are running, 24 hours, and you got people that need to be taken care of and cared for and looked after, from a safety standpoint. But it's still very fulfilling.
Oh, absolutely.
If it's something that you aspire to do, but nevertheless, it's people see the result, but they don't see all the stuff that's happening under here.
Yeah. I think. Biblically, how I see it is the glory comes with a lot of accountability and responsibility. And a lot of people may want the glory, but find out once they get in there where the nitty gritty is. It's like being in a gladiator's ring. Once you get in there and see what has to be fought to get the glory, I'm not sure a lot of people actually want it after that.
I've been studying some of the old prophet guys. You look at Moses or Joshua or Caleb, the stuff they went through, the time that it took, the waiting they had to wait for things to manifest itself, the things they had to deal with from a people standpoint, the things they had to look at from a strategic organizational standpoint. It was no small task.
No.
But it offers a lot of learnings as opposed to what you can bear.
And I was thinking about that from a corporate leadership point of view. Moses could have raised up anyone he wanted to, but he was looking for a particular individual that could not just replace his body physically, but he had to be able to take over his voice.
That's right.
And without that authority shift, the succession, I think, is without merit.
That's right. And also be able to take it to another, to whatever needed to be next. Not next better, but just next. There was a next that needed to happen.
Like there's another step to go
exactly.
upstairs.
And sometimes that's not just a step, but as you've taught us, the dimensional change.
Right.
Not just going from here to here, but going from here to here.
Yeah. And I think that it's like owning your own business.
It is.
It's the demand of being a business. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Until they realize it's 24/7.
Yeah.
And that you may want a day off, but your business doesn't take a day off.
That's right.
Because a day off for your business is a loss of revenue.
That's right.
So That thing has to keep going.
No, you're so right. And I'm a blessed dude, Bishop. I remember though I didn't do what my dad told me to do. Because my dad worked in corporate America all his life. He said, look, you go work for multi-billion, multi-global companies for the first 15 to 20 years, and then you go do something that is a fraction of that, but that is yours.
Right.
Because you take all those learnings,
Right.
and then you can apply it, and it's like, it's real easy for you. Where I've just been a corporate dude for the last 30 plus years.
Yeah.
But that, for all y'all young folks out there, go get that experience, and then figure out where you can focus on and go in and exploit that thing.
I remember years ago, right on Sunday mornings, I taught when I was doing that whole blessing in the workplace thing. And I told people it's amazing to me, it still amazes me, that once you get to a point of corporate expertise, then suddenly, let me go try selling candy at a candy store. No.
Yeah.
You monetize that expertise
right.
now that you've gotten it.
And use it in the same way, but just in your own.
And build a reputation in that environment.
That's right.
Because the people that you know when you start your business are the same people that you knew when you were working for the corporation. So people get to 15 years, 16, I think I want to do something different. No. You finally got the expertise. You can monetize it. You can do what your dad said.
Yeah.
Get something on your own.
Go get something on your own. Yeah.
It's amazing. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, 866-784-EVANS. Give us a call. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Scott is from Vineland, is on line 1. So how do you see this? Sister Willis is not playing.
No, not at all.
And I think it appears as though initially that her cases are so tight that the judges are put in a place where they cannot compromise and not be decimated publicly. I mean, the thing looks tight. They took Mark Meadows apart the other day.
They said, look, Doc, ain't happening, is what they said. Down in Georgia, they said it ain't happening.
No, not down here. We might talk slow, but we ain't slow.
We ain't slow.
But they're trying just frivolous stuff.
Yeah.
I guess they're just throwing it up against the wall, see if it'll stick. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to do that.
Yeah, but she's not having it. I knew it was tight when they said they wanted to try to impeach her. I said, wait a minute. There would be no need to come after her like that if they weren't afraid of her.
That's right. And the thing about these cases that'll be held there in Georgia, in the state, in the state realm, that folks don't understand, well, maybe they do, is that all that stuff can be televised.
It's going to be.
If it's federal, no television.
Yeah,
but this state stuff, it's all on TV for the world to see. And it gets into that whole.
She's going on television.
Entitlement versus entrustment thing. Folks think they're entitled, so they can just ask and get. And she's like, no,
that's not how it's going to work.
Balance of justice is going to come into play here. So it's going to be interesting how that whole thing plays out.
I'm looking at some of the. I think when they start giving out some real time, I don't think 90 days will challenge loyalty in many people's lives. But if they start giving out some real time and people have the prospect of going away for 5 years, 10 years, that kind of thing, I think you're going to see some people have a change of heart.
Yeah. And the timing is almost perfect because we're at, this time next year, we'll be in the depth of in the bowels of a presidential election. And so a lot of this stuff will be still playing out or will have played out.
Yeah. I'm somewhat intrigued. This escaped convict.
See that dude climb that wall, man?
Yeah, man. I wonder how long he worked out to be able to do that.
He went right up that thing
without hesitation, man.
He looked around. He's up.
I'm like, yo.
He been watching American Ninja Warrior.
Look. I'm looking at him. I'm saying, do you understand what kind of core strength that takes?
Yeah. Folks can't just do that.
And there was no struggle at it.
He just went on up. But you remember those dudes in high school that could run like the wind or run up that rope real quick? Yeah. Some people can just do
and never worked out a day in their life. Yeah, I get it.
I can't understand how they haven't caught him yet. I was talking to Lisa this morning. She said he's probably chilling in somebody's house that's not there, just chilling in the house.
It could be that.
Because I don't know that they're knocking on doors, checking folks'
houses.
Well, they are.
Oh, they are. But where he is out there near Lincoln.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't know how they're going to cover that much.
It's a lot of woods too.
forest, woods, farmland. I mean, I don't know what kind of blanket they can put on that.
Yeah. And he already did this in Brazil. He hid in the woods.
Did he?
He hid in the woods before he escaped to the U.S. He escaped down there also.
Now, did they say how he got to the U.S.?
I don't know how.
How did he murder somebody there, a female?
Yeah.
Get away,
And
get to the
on a
United
plane.
States?
Yeah, or a boat,
How did he
plane,
get
boat, whatever he did.
He didn't swim.
He
That's
didn't-
for sure.
We know he didn't swim. Incredible.
Unbelievable, man. But did they bring the state police in yet?
I believe that the state police took over.
Okay. I wonder if Pennsylvania State Police is like New Jersey State Police, because New Jersey State Police is an army.
It's a lot of them.
The only reason I know.
Because you still,
Yeah, I was on Turnpike
You was on the
Commission.
board, yeah.
We funded a lot of what they do. They are a small army. Boats, helicopters, planes, the top technical equipment. They've got everything to make sure they get the job done.
Yeah.
And we pay for a lot of it. But it's
Yeah. We pay
it's,
for all of it. That's why
it's,
taxes are so high.
those tolls, man. Those tolls.
Yeah, it's old.
Those tolls.
Yeah. How come the dogs haven't gotten them though?
I'm not sure they've gotten a real strong scent on him yet.
Yeah.
But if they'll get him.
They'll get him. It's just a matter. They might have gotten him.
I hope he doesn't hurt anybody else. 'Cause
That's the concern.
guy is,
That's concern because if he did it once or twice, he can do it again.
yeah, and he's desperate.
And he has nothing to lose.
No, he's desperate at this point. Because I'm sure he doesn't want to go back to jail.
No, he don't want to go
Because he's
back.
doing life, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Without parole.
So what do you think about the Proud Boy leaders getting the type of sentences they're getting?
You know, it's interesting, Bishop. Some folks think like, wow, that's a long time. But the reality is most of the time that has been given is half of the time that was asked for
Now, is
by the
that fair?
prosecutor.
Yeah.
And it varies, but
'Cause they were asking for the 30s.
yeah, but they were up in the 30, 35 years. So it's a long time. Some folks think it's probably, why did they get that much? And other folks say, how come they didn't get more?
Well, people died.
People die.
And here's the ambiguity for me. In any other context, if law enforcement people were killed, the sentences would be life. Without any question. Why in this case are we seeing sentences where law enforcement was killed? And what signal does that send to law enforcement people, especially those people that have not volunteered, have decided they're going to serve the Capitol that way? Because to me, there was such a gross disrespect for the Capitol Police that I didn't understand it. Because why am I going to try to offend you and you have to take care of me every day?
That's right.
It doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's an interesting dynamic to see what's going to happen with this related to what we talked about, with Mark Meadows and the others, what is it, 19 folks that have been indicted. Because this, with the Proud Boys, should lead into that, because the Proud Boys will say, well, I wasn't the one that killed the Capitol Police, so I didn't have any involvement in the actual killing.
Right.
So why should I? But at the end of the day, they perpetuated the events.
They call it aiding and abetting in the hood. Yeah.
And that same thing applies to all those folks that have been indicted.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how that all comes to play out.
It's going to be remarkable. We've got Scott on line 1. We got Robin from Bear, Delaware on line 3. Let's go to Scott. Good morning, Scott. How you doing?
Bishop Evans, Reverend White.
Yep, that's
Correct?
right. Yep, you got it right, Scott.
How you doing, guys?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Welcome to On Point again.
Always appreciate you. Always enjoy talking to you guys. This thing, of course, I want to talk about Mr. Trump. Why did some of his, I want to say, co-defendants want to speed their trials up? I'm trying to figure out why they want to get it done so quick. Is that so he'll get in more trouble, or why do you think they're trying to speed the trials up?
They assumed that if they asked for a speedy trial, that Mrs. Willis would not be prepared for it.
Okay.
So they threw the fastest ball they had, and she hit it out the park because she's prepared. They forget she's been getting ready for this for months and months and months.
And they think that's showing some leniency on their part to want to get through it.
But it's not going to work.
The process is the process.
And they say she's a RICO expert, which is why she's doing what she's doing the way she's doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means that Rudy Giuliani's concept of RICO has gone through some evolution now, and this is years later, and she's considered an expert at
That's
RICO.
right.
You know, so they thought they could kind of blindside her by asking for a speedy trial, but they forget they've been getting ready for this. And I'm not sure, and this is just speculation, if she looked differently, they would have tried that with someone else.
Okay.
Because they're assuming she's not going to be prepared, which is, it was dumb. It was almost offensive to me.
Yeah, but
Especially
not
what you
surprising.
Yeah.
Especially with you guys saying she's an expert. So if she's an expert, she got
Yeah,
that
but-
title for a
but-
reason.
but
So
people-
I-
but people
that
are-
held the-
People are trying to, expert for her is not normally what they think an expert is, but she's proving to be formidable.
Okay.
And they haven't really brought out her law school history, and there probably is a reason for that. If it was any negatives in it,
They would have been.
it
all
would
over it.
have been all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely,
she
absolutely.
probably has a stellar
What is her last name?
Willis. She probably has a stellar legal career, educational career. She's probably done remarkably well, even to be in that position. But to be as formidable as she is, if there were any kind of negatives that they could bring out that she wasn't prepared, they would have done that by now.
No, definitely. It would have blasted all over
Oh, yeah.
newspaper,
Oh, yeah.
helicopters, airplanes, etc., etc.
They would have
Well,
been
that's all
talking
I
about her
have, guys.
competency.
God bless you. Talk to you
All
later,
right, talk
guys.
to you soon now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
866-743-8267. We're going to Robin in Delaware. Hey, Robin, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Bishop, and good morning, Reverend White. How are you?
Morning, Robin.
What's going on?
Oh, Bishop, first let me just say the communion service.
Yeah, that was off the chain.
It was amazing,
cross.
wasn't it?
Who thought of that? Probably you.
No,
But,
I believe. Well, you know, we've done it before.
Okay, maybe I wasn't there.
And Pastor Nick asked me about reviving it, and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was simply amazing.
Yes, it was amazing service, message, and as I was putting my prayer requests up there, it shook. I said, Lord, don't let me knock this cross over.
Yeah.
I was like, please, I'd be so embarrassed.
Yeah, we'd have drug you for just a few feet on
I know,
the show this
right?
morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
my goodness.
we had to do it to you, Robin. It was-
Yes, I was like, thank you, Lord. I said,
Yeah.
my burdens must be heavy. It was shaking the cross. Oh, Lord. But, Bishop, this morning, you know, sometimes you wake up, I was telling Crystal, where sometimes your spirit, you know, kind of unsettled.
Yeah.
So, thank God for the Holy Spirit. It led me to watch Crimes Against Heaven.
Wow.
Bishop, I was
It was
laughing,
good, wasn't it?
especially you was backing up, and that bailiff, what is his name? Is it Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That 2016.
Great play, wasn't it?
Yes, people that are listening or watching, please order that January 31st, 2016, because it made me, I'm glad I watched it, because it made me realize that what you were saying, I can't even remember everything, but it made me just look at, okay, this is the love of God.
Mm-hmm.
And Pastor Nick was so funny.
Yep.
This ain't Kristen Mingle.
I thought it worked out really well as a mini play on a Sunday morning. We had all of the stuff with it. We had the music, we had the singing, had the acting. It was
Like the costumes.
Yeah, the costumes were working.
Were
It was
appropriate for
the
characters.
It was good. Crimes Against Heaven. Those of you that are watching us, if you have not seen that, what was the date again, Robin?
January 31st. 2016. Crystal
Okay.
says she still has it. Somebody just have to, call in. I guess call the bookstore.
Yeah.
And that way LaWanda can let them know that she needs some. They
It's
don't have CDs.
Yeah,
and
it's a
cards
gospel.
anymore, so
It's a
DVDs.
gospel musical. It's a gospel musical. And
You'll enjoy it.
You'll really enjoy it.
Yes, get the DVD, y'all. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I feel so good now after watching that. But Bishop, you still look the same.
No, I doubt that. But
no,
thanks, Robin.
you still look the same, and we lose, hair, but yeah, you still look the same. But you were standing there laughing, and that's why I know God brought me to Bethany because y'all sense of humor, the word, everything that I needed, everything I need. But I only have two things, and I'm done. What do you think? Have you seen the video or the clip regarding the black man who went to jail at age 22? 50 years, and they finally found out he was innocent from
After
raping.
50 years?
He was convicted of rape.
That was so sad.
Yeah, like 47 years in jail.
For something he didn't do.
For something he
50
didn't do.
years.
Yeah.
He's 72 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Power of DNA. Thank God for science.
Thank God it lasted that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was just,
So
oh
did
my
they ever
God.
did it discover who actually did the crime?
Yep.
Is that person still alive?
Yep. They call him for something else now. It's in jail, but they can't charge him for this because it's, with the statute of limitation.
Is there a statute of limitation for murder?
Well,
I
no,
didn't think
it
there
rape.
was.
This
It was
was rape. It was rape.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
okay.
rape.
Yeah. So,
I didn't
but
know there
they
was
call him
statute for
again
that, too.
Something else. But Reverend White, I know you can look it up right quick. What do you think about? I was just saw it on the news, not the news, The View, the Fearless Group. The women that have been raising money in millions, now they're being sued for discrimination because they're helping so many black women. And that's all I have, Bishop.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of the Fearless Group.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
And while we are looking that up, Rich, thank you, Robin.
All right, y'all have a blessed
Talk
day.
to you
Love
soon,
you guys.
man.
DA was she went to Howard and Emory. So HBCU like you and I. She
Okay.
went to Howard
Okay.
and Emory.
Okay.
I was going to ask you a real quick question.
Go ahead.
With the communion service Sunday.
Right.
Many times, guilty also, that we give these things to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we get in our car, we done took that thing back.
Absolutely.
How do we not do that?
That was one of the core messages on Sunday night, was that God saved us.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the stuff we should have given him, we're still carrying.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to get tired of the companionship of whatever that it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's constant anger, if it's being offended for 15 or 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
if it's because most people, 1 John is so clear, Rich, when it tells us that if I'm reacting today, that emotion didn't start today.
That's right.
So there's a series of events, a series of emotional upheavals, a series of impacts that happen over a period of time, which causes the strength of a present reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But we like to blame the entire thing, the entire summation of our emotions on the present offense, when it really is being fueled by stuff a long time ago. So if we don't deal with the source, we'll continue to carry the thing.
Right.
Because it's say, in the spirit realm, that offense is designed to go with you unless you intentionally put it off, as Ephesians says. Put it away, but we want it to drop off. It's not going to do that. You have to intentionally put it away, kind of bury it and leave it there. Not bury it in a sense of denial, but bury it like, okay, I'm not carrying that weight any longer. And Sunday night was all about getting rid of the stuff that God delivered us from, that we insisted on holding on to. And it's just, if you're not intentional, because I just taught this thing Wednesday night. He says, put on something in replace. And it really, I think we have to get to the place where we're really sick and tired of being tired of that thing, and then we're able to put it away. If not, if we're not tired of it,
it ain't going nowhere.
It's not going.
It's not going anywhere.
Because it's not going to volunteer to leave you.
Yeah. No, it wants to stay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We start wearing offenses as part of our identity. And then all of a sudden, we start to look for reasons and people who will justify the existence of something that God never wanted us to carry. I'm looking here. It says police officer charged with the murder in Eddie Irizarry shooting.
This happened in Philly.
Now, my curiosity is because
they lied.
Well, here's the other thing. The Irizarry boys used to be part of our church.
Oh, okay. Now I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about.
I know those boys good. I know by name. One of them was named Eddie, and the other one was, but the sons, I believe, were here with their grandmother and their mother for a long time.
For a long time.
Because Irizarry is not a common name.
Right. But he was charged with murdering Eddie, but Eddie was too young to have.
Well, Eddie's father was named Eddie.
Okay, well, he was charged with murdering Eddie, And
The policeman?
The policeman.
Okay.
Who fatally shot Eddie Azari, faces murder charges. And they said that Eddie was going towards the police, but he was actually going away from the police in his car, and the police shot him.
So the Eddie they're talking about, he's like, should be in his 50s maybe?
Doesn't say how old he is.
Okay. Because so we have some Irazaris that were a part of our ministry for a while. I mean, the boys actually grew up until they got to be almost teenagers.
They were here. One used to work in the flag ministry.
Absolutely.
He was in the flag ministry.
They were, and I think both of them were in the junior deacon program.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It doesn't say how old he was.
Okay. If it is related to him, it had to be their father.
Yeah, the officer said he lunged at the officers, but the body camera warrant made it very clear that that's not actually what happened. You know, that the officer went towards him and ended up shooting him. That's why they know they got these body cameras on them.
Yeah, but
cameras everywhere.
I don't understand that. If someone is threatening you and they have no weapon at all, you're the only guy in the room with the gun.
Mm-hmm.
How threatened do you feel?
I'm threatened.
I don't understand. Anyway.
It happened recently with a young lady, a woman was in her car. They said that she had shoplifted something, and she got in the car. She was pregnant, and I'm trying to look where it was, and they said that she had shoplifted. So the police were like, "You got to get out the car. You got to get out."
Right.
She said, "I ain't getting out the car."
Right.
And so the police were standing in front of the car. So she turned the wheel to go around them, and they shot her. Shot her. Dead.
And what has she shoplifted?
What that doesn't matter what she shot.
Is it worth
that's fatally shot by Ohio police. Yeah.
Is it worth a life if she stole some
That's
underwear?
what I was saying. Okay, let her go.
All right, you got the car, you got the license, you're looking at her. Go to the house and get her.
So it's really a sad state. Yeah.
Unbelievable. We got Tom from Florida. Hey, Tom, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Reverend White?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
What's going on down there in Florida, man? Give us the 411, as they used to say back in the day.
Other than our crazy governor, things are, I think, are looking up. People are protesting. People are calling him out on stage. I think we had enough of that, and he's getting some backlashes.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. I mean, he's been doing stuff that's been totally ridiculous when it comes to taking people off boards, putting new people on, taking elected politicians out of office for some kind of, for nonsense.
But how does he get to do that? I've never understood how he gets to do that. So the people elect someone and he decides he doesn't like them, so he takes them out of the seat?
He comes up with some, you didn't follow this particular rule, so it makes you know, and we're going to take you out, which I don't know legally. He started about 3 years ago when he took the Broward sheriff out.
Okay.
And then after that, he started low. He started on school boards, which people don't realize how important that was, because those school boards are the beginning of everything.
How if you can help us with this, how has his sense of invincibility or invulnerability developed? What did he have to do to give himself this almost Teflon existence?
I think before he went up against Trump, he was a Trumper, and he got all the blessings of Trump, and the followers followed him like he was Trump.
Okay.
Up until he announced that he's running against him. So he's getting backlash now, but up until the point of him becoming a foe of Trump, he was pretty much, Trump president of Florida, almost.
So the perception from the outside is that politicians, Democrats and Republicans, are intimidated by this governor. Is that a misperception?
100% right.
Okay. How did he get to intimidate is it the voting base that he has with him that makes him such an intimidating presence to politicians in Florida?
I believe so, because he has both houses.
Okay.
And they've been able to push through whatever he wanted. And only recently is he, especially in South Florida, is he really starting to get the pushback. I think people were terrified of him.
Okay.
Because he was getting his way every time.
Okay. So it's kind of taking your political career in your own hands if you decide to oppose him.
Yes. And most people lost.
Okay.
Bishop.
Yeah.
You asked about the DA.
Yes.
In Georgia. Now, this is something that happened in my family a little different.
Okay.
My father, an administrator in the school system, highly educated. His sisters and brothers, an attorney, all highly educated, but from South Carolina.
Okay.
And I heard my aunt say to my father once, because you're from up north and you talk faster than we do, don't think you're any smarter. And I think that's the lull we came into with this lady.
Yeah.
And she's a slow-talking Southerner. But it ain't no different. Just full culturally.
I think she's proving to be quite adept at what she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is being negatively celebrated by the attacks that they want to try to stop her now because she knows what she's doing, not because she's incompetent. They're not waiting for her to trip. They're trying to throw whatever they can at her. And all she's showing is that, we haven't been sitting around drinking coffee for the last year. We've been preparing this case. And she's used to prosecuting these racketeering type situations. So this is not different for her in the sense of it's just who she's prosecuting at this point.
She's doing her job.
Yeah. And she shouldn't be penalized for doing it.
Yeah. So Bishop, before you guys kick me off here, we keep talking about the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
And take away that a policeman got killed or something happened. They were trying to overthrow the government.
I hear you.
This was a coup.
Yes, sir.
I mean, in the end, you take everything else. We're talking about third world craziness. We're talking about stuff that happens down in South America, some other country.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to happen here.
What's amazing to me is how the perception of it is trying to be shaped into something. I've seen politicians say, "All I saw were people on a tour." I watched that come out of their mouths. Oh, there wasn't a problem. People were just touring. They were enthusiastic, that kind of thing. Just any other group of people, it would have been called a riot.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be called a protest. It would have been called a riot.
Well, we saw what they did prior to the Black Lives Matter.
There'd have been BLM. There would have been dead people.
Yeah. That's just what Rich just said.
Yeah, they had the barricades, the National Guard. Everybody went before that parade, before that demonstration, not parade, happened. They showed, you got pictures of it. The whole Capitol was locked down, gates and everything. They had nothing, except but the Capitol Police were there, but they didn't have any, no barricades, little, jump over gate.
Yeah.
So, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Hey, take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
To Robin, the Fearless Women organization is a group that helps all women in terms of dealing with, not unequal pay, how to deal with, the issues of the world today. So it's not just for black women, but it's for all. It's for all women.
And it's called what?
The Fearless Women Org.
Okay.
Fearless Women Org.
Okay. I never heard of it.
Neither have I. And it's a ministry also.
Well, they must be doing some ministry also.
Yeah.
So they must be doing some productive work, or they wouldn't get sued at this point.
Yeah.
I wonder. We support iniquity, but we don't support positivity. I don't get that. I do get it from a spiritual point of view. human beings tend to be attracted to the negative,
Yes.
the ungodly, rather than attracted to the things that are going to help folk. Because how can you, my generation, we didn't call helping people socialism. But now helping people has a negative connotation called socialism. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And it's only socialism until you need it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we know there's some bad people out there, but historically, people have been, at least my perception, and there may be some naivety there, but most folks are good folks.
Yeah.
And they want to help. They don't mind helping folks. But the dynamic is
The vocal
shifting.
the vocal dynamic seems to be shifting very quickly.
And the reality is like what, like, I forget the great poet's name now. Maya Angelou used to say, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Absolutely. Like I always say, when God takes the time to show you someone's heart,
That's right.
don't ignore it.
Don't ignore it.
Yeah, don't ignore it. 866-743-8267. We've got some open lines this morning. The G20 summit is in India this year. I wonder how they're going to handle security there. I know the few times that we were planning to go there to minister, we thought better of it after the planning started, because our Indian pastors told us that the military would have to guard us the entire time we're there. So I'm like, why? He said, well, Indian pastors are being killed over here. So to do a crusade, and we were north, middle, and south is where we built churches. Northern India, middle India, and southern India. In order to do that whole geographic thing, we were going to have military people from the time we got off the plane until the time we got back on the plane to come home. And I just felt like it was too much risk for the people going with. If I was going by myself, and that's another thing. But you got to take staff with you and all, and
It's real, though.
yeah. And then we'd have had to send Lisa and them first, and by the time we got there, they'd be dressing in sarongs and stuff.
Yeah, they had all the, what I forget they called it, print all on the
Yeah,
hands and everything.
yeah. Yeah, they would have. Yolanda and Val, and then would have
They'd been like, who are you?
just kidding. 866-743-8267. We've got Carol from Wayne County. We've got Marcus from Tula, South Carolina, and Angela is on the phone. Good morning, Carol. How are you? Hello? Wayne County, Carol?
She walked away.
Did she walk away from the phone? No, I can hear me in the background.
I can hear you in the background, too.
Yeah, so she's listening to the radio. Carol? Let's go. Let's put her on hold. We'll go to Marcus. Good morning, Marcus.
Good morning. Yes, sir.
Welcome to On Point.
Bishop?
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
This is Marcus from Saluda, South Carolina.
Yeah, God bless you, man.
Yeah, I spoke with you. I had the pleasure of speaking with you the other week with Pastor Nick.
Okay, yes.
And what I want to say is I found another tape of yours from back in 1994.
Oh, Lord.
You preached a sermon called "You've Never Been This Way Before."
Oh,
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that series.
And Bishop, I just had to say, you remind me of Moses, because you led those people out of Summerdale, New Jersey, and sent them over there to Lindenwold. And you've been serving God's people ever since.
God bless you, man.
I don't understand why, if you want to go to the Olympics for 2 weeks, why you can't go, and why I would like to give to that.
Go where?
Remember a couple weeks ago, y'all was talking.
Go to the Olympics
Yeah.
a few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
A few weeks ago, you were talking
Yeah,
about
that's on my bucket
I
list.
wouldn't mind putting some money towards that, because anytime he does all that he does, he should be able to take a day off or a week off and just do what he wants to do.
Now,
I appreciate you,
Marcus.
I appreciate you, Marcus.
Marcus. Now, I've been having this conversation with Bishop for at least just 20, at least 20 years. I can tell you back in the day when he preached that sermon, he would go off for 2 weeks, come back blacker than me, smiling, relaxed, blacker than me. I've been trying to get this man, the guy, my friend, my pastor, my bishop, to go away for 20 years. But he's a working man. So I agree. Let's do it. Let's send Bishop to Paris for the Olympics 2024.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
After creating everything, why can't the
Nick, hurry up and come back. Marcus, how's things in...
Where's Tula?
Where's Tula? We want to know where Tula is.
I'm in Saluda.
Saluda?
South Carolina.
Where is that in relationship to Charleston?
SALUDA. It's right above Aiken, South Carolina.
Okay, it's above Aiken.
got it,
Okay,
got it.
okay. So you're not near Columbia?
No,
No.
Okay.
Because I'm in
Aiken.
Charleston a lot for work.
Okay, yeah.
but I wouldn't mind putting a few dollars towards getting the bishop to the Olympics.
I appreciate
If that's what he says he wants to do,
I
he
appreciate it.
deserves it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Never been this way before. Did it help you? Did the message help you?
I still listen to it to this very day. My son had to get a device where you can take these cassettes and download them onto these other little devices
Okay.
that you can listen to on a computer.
Okay. It helped you, huh?
It helped. It changed my life. Bishop said there ought to be a difference, and I'd be Tom Brown if he wasn't right.
Wow. Thank you for calling us, Marcus. Such an encouragement today.
But thank you for taking the time, and please continue to take care of the bishop because he's been taking care of us. Even in
Absolutely.
a small town like a Saluda, South Carolina.
Wow. Thank you so much. Pray for you. What church you go to there?
I go to in the Saluda, South Carolina. I go to Lockhart Baptist Church with the great Jeremiah Jenkins is the pastor.
Wow.
And we have. I'm sorry.
Please give him my regards.
Oh, he's a good man. He's a good man
Yeah.
like Bishop is. He's
Please-
a good man.
Please,
He's a
please,
good man.
please tell him I said hello.
Yes, sir. I will do just that. He's
And
a
we
good
got
man.
we got a shout out this morning to Jeremiah Jenkins, Pastor Jeremiah Jenkins. Praise the Lord.
He's a good man like the bishop. A good man.
God bless you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you soon now. Bye bye.
Yes, sir. Bye bye.
Let's see if we can get Carol on it. Carol, are you there?
I am here.
Hi, how are you? Welcome to On Point this
Hi.
morning.
Thank you, Bishop Evans and Reverend White.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your time. You've been talking about Fonnie Willis a lot today,
Yes, sir.
and so I called in with some comments. I was following the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and Fonnie Willis, like on Facebook and whatnot,
Mhm.
as it led up to this point, and noticed that before the prosecutions began, she did a lot of hiring.
Okay.
I think it was expected that this was going to be like a big load from taking on all this stuff on top of the stuff from Fulton County, perhaps.
Okay.
And I think that some of that might be involved in the reasoning why they aren't prosecuting some other folks that were named by the grand jury, but maybe like the grand jury didn't vote overwhelmingly to prosecute on
Okay.
each of these, and so perhaps the prosecution didn't think that a win was so easily attained.
Okay.
And I don't know. I wonder if there's some way that there could be more funding for more lawyers when something big like this happens in our nation, and a small, I mean, not necessarily small place, but like a one office is expected to handle something so big. So
Yeah.
I think perhaps Fonnie's office is due some more funding for some more lawyers if the public expects prosecution of the other people that were named by the grand jury that ought to be prosecuted.
And you may have just given us the wisdom behind the RICO approach, because in that context, they can try groups of people at the same time. So that may
Right,
very
and
well
perhaps
be.
none of those other people, like all of those, would have fudged up the RICO aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they tried to
Right.
involve them.
Right.
But, maybe they could be prosecuted separately. I'm not a prosecutor. I've just been kind of paying attention as we
Yeah,
go.
and I think
But
district attorneys do not like indicting people that they don't think they have a reasonable chance to convict.
Oh, yeah, it's all about, I mean, it's a McDonaldized process. It's all about getting everybody through as fast as they can. Yeah, I mean, there's no time for mistakes. It seems like
no, there isn't.
It's all about wins.
Yeah,
but I do know that our society would have higher morale if we had more trials and there were less necessarily wins through plea deals and such.
I think the plea deal, the plea deal system is a way that the states actually save money on prosecutions.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they save budget money as it relates to whatever legal process they have to engage in. So they want a plea deal up front, so it doesn't cost the state money that a long trial would. So I see a lot of that, but I've also seen where that plea deal has caused people to go to jail that were not guilty.
We're not guilty. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of, you know.
Because they extort you.
That's right.
Yeah, they kind of pressure you into taking the deal, and if you don't have good representation, who can navigate the process, you'll say yes to something that you'll find out years later.
Yeah.
I didn't have to say yes.
It's a reverse RICO, is what it is.
Yeah. So it's I have a friend who's in jail right now. He should be coming out pretty soon, because the legal aspect of the state that he's in withheld evidence from the trial, and they convicted him, and he was almost he wouldn't take the plea because he wasn't guilty, and they knew he wasn't guilty, but they wouldn't come back and say, okay, we made a mistake and he shouldn't go to jail. So they put him in jail, and he's been in there over 20 years.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of that too.
Yeah, they don't know how to say I'm sorry.
I made a mistake. Yeah, I made a mistake is not something very common.
Right.
Thank you for calling us today, man.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Happy
you.
day.
Call us again now. Bye-bye. How much time do we have? We got a few minutes. We're going to go to Danny, and then we're going to Angela first, and then we're Danny. Hey, Angela.
Good morning. Good morning, Bishop.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good for an old lady.
The Bluegrass State is doing okay?
The Bluegrass State is still doing what it does. I had two. Oh, I'm sorry. And good morning, Pastor. Your co-host this morning.
Pastor White, yeah.
Good morning, Angela.
Pastor White, very, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Two things.
Mm-hmm.
First, Mitch McConnell.
Yes, I was going to ask you about it. I was going to ask you.
You can't ask me about him. But Mitch seems to be having a tough go at it.
Yeah, I don't think he was already old, but I think, there's got older guys in good shape, but when he fell,
that falls.
Something happened.
You don't want folks falling.
No, you don't want falling.
Like something happens when
you don't want to hit your head.
Yeah, oh Lord, no.
Yeah, don't want to hit your head.
Exactly, and I guess my surprise is how it's being dealt with as if it's nothing. I'm one that believes in term limits. I don't believe that you should die in office.
Okay.
I think, I don't think the government should be occupied by all young people.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we do need wisdom sprinkled in, but I think we do need to have something set in place to say, okay, thank you for your service. Enjoy the rest of your life.
Well, how long has he been in office, Angela?
Oh Lord.
Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord. Long time.
My whole adult life. So I'm 60. So
wow.
I can only remember him.
So at least 50 years.
Yeah, a good long while. And I understand that that's a position of power. And even though I live in Kentucky, I live in Lexington. Lexington is blue and Louisville is blue, but the rest of the state is red.
Okay.
So, we kind of know, even when we're voting, we know what we're up against.
Okay.
But with these latest events, I'm just surprised that something's not being done.
Now, what's the word on the street in Kentucky? Are people feeling that he's overstayed his time, that the fall actually hindered him because he's a skilled politician?
I think the fall is a subtitle to some of his antics, if you would.
Okay.
Because he wields a lot of power in this area. The same way I think Trump wields power by promising people of lower estates some type of glorious, outcome,
Sure.
kind of like the January 6th situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, rich white men tell poor white men to help them, but they have no intention of reciprocating.
Sure.
So
That's
we kinda
politics.
always know that's the issue.
That's well said.
My I have to be careful. Secondly, my second question, Donald Trump,
Yes.
how do you become indicted as many times as he's been indicted and continue to lead the Republican Party for the presidential nomination?
It's called power, and it's called the thirst for power, and it's called the top 3 things for every politician. You know what they are?
No.
Get elected, get elected, get elected.
Well, there you go. And there you are.
So that's why he's still able to wield it, because of the base he influences.
But at some point, legally, is he allowed? I mean, I wouldn't think that you would legally be allowed to run
Anyone else
with those many indictments.
Anyone else in his position who was in any leading position in any party would have been disqualified by now. So
Yeah.
it shows you just the aberration that has happened as it relates to integrity and what's really important in the minds of our politicians. And looking right, being right is not that important anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But he is, I mean, it doesn't look like the party has a second choice. He seems to be leading it's like the patients are leading the asylum.
They are. The inmates are running the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but they have 1 or 2 people that could be viable candidates in another environment. But in this,
Right.
I call it this lunacy phase they're in.
Yeah.
The more lunatic you appear, the more you seem to appeal.
I've never seen anything like it.
No, it's not first time. It's first time I've ever seen it in my life, especially a Republican Party that was staunchly conservative, and at one point saying they were all about the Lord, and just something
Right.
something has happened. I think when McCain died,
Yeah.
a lot of the restraint just went
Some of
away.
the ethical values.
Yeah, they just went
Definitely
away.
the integrity.
Of
I mean,
morality.
Yeah.
both parties,
Yeah.
we both have our issues.
Yeah,
I'm just really concerned that Biden, he's not a young man. He's done some amazing things and has served well.
they both old.
But I'm really
They both old.
and I have no problem against old, because I think old brings wisdom.
Absolutely.
But then there's a point that I don't think we're willing to recognize as a nation. Like Nancy Pelosi, she finally just stepped down.
Right.
And she's still very viable, still very strong, and but she knows that there's other things to do at
Yeah.
this point in her life.
Like take care of her
The men
husband.
don't
'Cause-
seem to,
She's gonna run again.
to get that.
You think she's gonna run again?
She already announced it.
Okay. Angela, we got to go. Can you call us next week?
I sure will. You
All right.
guys have an amazing weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Danny, we ran out of time, man. I'm sure you can call us next week. Tell my sister I said hello. Rich, we've had a great program today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for sitting in for Pastor Nick. I'm Bishop Dave G. Evans. Tomorrow, we want you to join us at service. 8 a.m. is our virtual service. 11 o'clock is our live in-house. We're looking forward to seeing you. We no longer require vaccinations. We are still observing protocol. As you know, COVID rates are going up drastically around the country. We invite you to our midweek services, noon on Wednesday, 7 p.m. on Wednesday. If you want some updates as far as our Bethany News is concerned, you text BBC News to 28950. If you want some inspirational messages during the week, text BBC Elevate to 28950. We want to pray with you. Send your prayer requests to us. You send those to social at gotobethany.com. And of course, always subscribe to our David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube, and subscribe to our platforms, our podcast platforms, which is DGEMS, DGEMS, and On Point, on Point with an E. We look forward to seeing you next time. For Reverend Richard Wright, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. Remember, stay strong, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.